Reality.tv.
And welcome back to the Australian Mixed Ultimate Championships. We're at Division 2 here in Nelson Bay. My name is Max Stenstrom and alongside me is Aaron Healy, and we are going to watch Townsville Xtra Thicc take on McDuff Hustle from Sydney. It is beautiful weather here. And McDuff Hustle playing their first match of the day. Townsville going to be playing their second. And it'll be fireworks for sure.
Exciting matchup here. We've got two teams who probably haven't had much of a chance to play each other at all. It might just be at these events each year that they get to. So we'll see how they adjust to each other. Maybe they'll surprise each other with some different looks to what they're used to.
As I mentioned, Townsville played their first match this morning against F Group, getting a nice win, 13-7. And we'll see whether that extra game is giving them opportunity to find their groove, get some chemistry and etc., get going, or whether fresh legs of McDuff can lead them to some nice performances and to the results that they want. The teams have flipped. The horn has gone. Everything's ready to go. And we're just waiting for the teams to get on the line and for play to commence. It's worth mentioning there's a couple of couples and a couple of parents on these teams, which is awesome to see. Ultimate always a family affair. And they'll be doing their best to keep it in the family this game. Townsville Xtra Thicc will start this game on defense. And it'll be Tom Anderson with his length who will get things underway. Tom burst onto the scene a couple of years ago in the under 22 age bracket. Just announced himself as a phenomenal downfield athlete. And we'll see him ply his trade for Townsville this game. And immediately Townsville will be playing some zone defense, and McDuff, disc in the hands of Michael Cherlin, will have to work their way through it. Cherlin goes over the top with a big hammer, just beyond the outstretched fingers of Kat Smith. And they look to move it quickly, not allowing Townsville defense to set, but simple miss throw from Kate Barker gives the disc away. And Townsville with their first opportunity with the disc in hand. And immediately shot to the end zone, looking for Anderson. Great shot, Tim Saunders. And Anderson will find Smith. And Saunders wears the number 23. He really is the Michael Jordan of Ultimate Frisbee. And with pinpoint shooting like that, you can see why he wears that number. And Kat Smith hauls in the goal to take it to 1-0.
That's a very clean point for Townsville there, and I think that might be a preview of what we're going to see a lot this game. Those players, Anderson and Smith, I think will be racking up the stats. Definitely two players to watch.
I don't think it'd be a controversial call to make to say Smith probably the strongest thrower in this match, if not the entire tournament.
Big call.
Incredible talent behind the disc, but showing a versatility at that point and catching one in the end zone as well. Coming off the back of a really quite successful AUL season with the Brisbane Breakers, where she led them to a third place finish, just on the table, just missing out on a semi-finals, a final spot.
The pool goes up. And it sits a little bit, coming in Blady. That's picked up by Hodling. He's looking to center it. He swings. Looking for options now. Oh, he's got to work hard for it. Just out of reach. Townsville get another chance on offense. We've got De Hollander picking up. Not many downfield options. Going to have to swing it. Still not many downfield options here for Townsville. They pop one over the top, back to De Hollander, and there's some sort of call, looks like a pick. So the disc is going to go back.
De Hollander, David De Hollander, the brother of Rob De Hollander, the 2017 AFTA Male Player of the Year.
Disc goes up. Oh, big bid. It's brought down by Walker.
That's a great grab from JJ Walker.
Keeping it in. It looked near the sideline, but she just reached out and grabbed that.
It's a beautiful play. As Townsville jump out to 2-0. He's getting another look. Tyson Verhaeghe. Lovely backhand. Out into space. Maybe a touch far, but JJ Walker willing to step up and make the play.
Too good. Townsville definitely yet to slip up. They're looking pretty clean out there.
And we get a look at the offensive line for McDuff. Hustle. And we see the imposing figure of Owen Shepherd as he takes the field for the first time this match. I mean, if I were to list Shep's Frisbee resume, we may well miss the rest of the match. It'd take that long. This guy has literally done everything. He has played at every conceivable level, representing Australia in the green and gold innumerable times, and brings a wealth of experience to McDuff. We'll see whether he can pilot McDuff into a position where they can get their first runs on the board at this point. As the pull goes up, Will Demarest with the pulling duties lands that one deep in the end zone in the hands of Cherlin. Will give go with Shepherd. And Townsville sticking to this zone. It's clearly something they like the look of. It's also clearly something that I imagine Owen Shepherd will like the look of as he slices through it like a knife through hot butter. Cherlin, give goes, gets it back from Leanne Tran, and they keep moving it. Tran gets the disc again. So they move it upfield. Back to Cherlin. Swing to Shepherd. The tempo is beautiful. No player holding onto the disc for more than a second or two. Taking the first open option as it presents itself. Not a lot of really tricky passes, but moving it beautifully across the field as they swing. And Smith gets the block. She cuts in, gets a fingertip on it, and Shepherd can't recover. She shoots to the end zone, but the throw doesn't follow. Demarest finds Smith with a big gainer on this near side. The wind that we spoke about earlier, absent this match. Still conditions, beautiful throwing conditions. We'll see whether Smith looks to take advantage of it and stretch the field. She points at the end zone, and you know she's got a cannon that she's willing to shoot. And the give-go action keeps the disc in the hands. Townsville's premier handler surveys her options. Things start to get a little scrappy downfield. We've got a few cutters cutting into the same space at the same time, making things difficult. Nice break to the near side. Back to Smith. Demarest and Smith doing a lot of the work to keep the flow moving, keep the disc alive. Demarest marked by Cherlin. And Shepherd, huge poach off Endy to try and deny Smith the disc. Recognizing where the threats are and what needs to be stopped. Endy, stall count must be rising. Doesn't have a whole lot. Has to go floaty forehand onto the top of the stack. Defenders everywhere, hands in the air.
That was a lot of bodies under that disc. I think that was a very high stall count throw. A bit of a last-ditch attempt at that goal.
Hail Mary for sure.
Yep. That shows what an impact Kat Smith was having on that point. As soon as she was shut down, there weren't many options for Townsville.
And that really demonstrates that what Owen Shepherd offers for this team. Obviously, incredible offensive handler and will do a lot to move the disc upfield, but his defensive wits meant that he recognized that shutting down Smith was key to containing and slowing down Townsville's offense, which looked so fluid up to that point. They now go over the top with the hammer, and they're content to dump back and swing. Great discipline in taking the easy first options that are available. Never wanting to crank up the risk too much. That coupled with a couple of very experienced, very capable veteran throwers, making life quite easy as they cut through this zone. Little by little, inch by inch. Oh, and Michael Cherlin. That throw just came in a little hot from Joe Sun. Smith has some players running to the end zone, including Will Demarest, but instead comes break side to Endy, and he'll hit Demarest for the goal. And that's 3-0. But Townsville really having to work harder for that one. McDuff starting to find their defensive looks that are able to provide some pressure.
Yeah, McDuff did a really good job working through that zone then. It looked like the Townsville zone was almost a bit lethargic, not quite keeping up with the quick throws cutting through and around that cup. Maybe a bit less intensity than some zones we may have seen. It's just that last 10% that Duff need to get those little catches, the little bobbles, and then I think they'll work right through it.
Michael Cherlin, one of the captains of this McDuff team, will stay on the line. As McDuff continue to hunt for their first runs on the board. It's a warm day, or it's starting to warm up, I should say, and it's relatively humid.
The pull goes up. Fielded by Brockmere and up to Cherlin. Looking cool, calm and collected in that handler spot. He wants it back, doesn't get it. Oh, she put it deep. Wong throws it to the middle. Centers back. Losing a few meters, but gaining their composure back to Cherlin. Lots of quick movement from Duff here. Lose a few meters back to Cherlin. Nice fake there. Spreading it to the sideline. Up and over by Brockmere. Can she reel it in? Yes, great grab there by Villa. Back to Cherlin. He wants it upfield. Can't quite find anything. Blady flick to the end zone. Oh, and it's brought down. And McDuff are on the board. Just working through that zone, looking pretty unconcerned at that point.
Nice passage of play as they do eventually find the end zone. Never really having to be too speculative. In the end, taking a bit of a risk with that blade over the top, but straight onto the chest. Nicely done. Not having to really stretch the field with any long throws. Even that final shot, probably only 10, 12 meters. And that's 3-1, McDuff on the board. A little bit slow to get there, but they'll look to respond. And now that McDuff do get one in, we'll see whether Townsville commit to their zone defense on the turn, or if they're willing to play some match. Pretty strong looking offensive line from Townsville on the field. Plenty of throwing power, plenty of cutting power. See how it combines. As Harrison Kirk sends down the pull for McDuff. Demarest to Smith, those two being the two key handlers. So they find Anderson. Anderson getting a little stuck, lefty backhand. Love that throw. Francis Luzarides eventually finds the 23 shirt of Tim Saunders. Townsville just operating out of a pretty regulation vertical stack. And McDuff playing some one-way force. It's nothing too spectacular in terms of tactical sophistication, but it's great ultimate nonetheless. Fakes the backhand break, doesn't come. Now he looks at the dump, now he goes back upfield. Anderson, see him almost bubble that one. But he does hold on. Forehand out it in front.
Oh.
Was trying to find Saunders going up line, but it was a rapidly closing channel that he was throwing into and just squeezes that one a little far.
Definitely a bold look.
Martin Nguyen. A bit of contact on the mark from Chris Andy. I don't think there'll be much debate over whether that was a foul. Uncontested. The disc will be brought back in. That's the way we want to see these things resolved. And Jared Hodling playing catch with Martin Nguyen. Lots of touches. They now change the angle. And they'll now look a little more successful as they go far side through the guts now. Lots of little 1 or 2 meter passes, and that's all you need. Martin Nguyen finds Hodling, gets it straight back. Very dynamic. Hodling and Nguyen doing what Cherlin and Shepherd were doing earlier, but being probably 10 or 12 years younger each, they're able to do it with a little more dynamism. Nguyen moving it through the guts, but looking to get every second pass nonetheless. Hodling provides that outlet as Nguyen goes up line. Probably about 8 meters out now. And we've got a foul on the mark. Harrison Kirk in that dump space. McDuff a little scattered in the end zone. Probably want to tidy things up a little bit, make it a little clearer who they're isolating. And they do find the disc in the hands of Leanne Tran, but there may be a pick call. She did scoop around Martin Nguyen to get open. And it will come back. Kirk still in that dump position to win at the front of stack. And Tran in their lane. Andy on the mark. I'll dump back to Kirk. Nguyen tries to offer the around, but nothing's available. Hodling, the dump, the give, and the go, but it isn't rewarded.
Ooh.
Kirk's pass at the ankles. Nguyen gets a fingertip to it the first time, but can't regather.
Almost got a second chance at that one in the wind. And there it is. We've just got a gust now on what was a pretty quiet game.
It's coming towards the camera as Tom Anderson rifles a forehand straight down that line, never more than shoulder height the whole way. And suddenly Townsville on the doorstep, players streaming through. A lot of congestion. Crossfield, backhand to Kat Smith. 2 on the board for her and 4 on the board for Townsville.
Yeah, you can't go too wrong when Kat Smith is in space. That was really nice vision for her to just hit that other corner. There was a bit of a pile up in that near cone, but she just found that space and got that goal.
Following that huck from Anderson, it looked like everyone in Townsville wanted to be the one to put it in. About 4 or 5 players all cut into that pocket space directly in front of the disc. What that did mean, though, was the break side of the field had no one in it, and Kat Smith in the paddock is a great option any time of day.
Duff had some really nice movement at that point. They worked it up the whole field, held possession for quite a while, and then just knocking on the door, just a fumble, and they couldn't quite get it. Huge point for Nguyen as well, not only on O, he was getting about every second pass in that zone, and then through the transition to man. But also his marking on the dump was really effective, shutting down those little passes. So let's see if he can keep doing that and maybe be the difference for this Duff side. The pull goes up, way out, but coming back in. Cherlin to Shepherd. And back to Sun. To Shepherd, to Cherlin. Lots of nice movement. Duff has been having a lot of touches on the disc, really moving it quickly before this zone can set. Back to Shepherd. There's a pick called, so the disc will go back. We've got Brockmeyer with the disc. Oh, great heads up D there. We've got De Hollander back with the disc. Looking for upfield cuts. Swings it. It looks a bit high. Oh, can't bring it in. Duffer looking to move it really quickly. Got Shepherd with the disc. To Cherlin. Back to Shepherd on the far sideline, the high side. Oh, just over the head of the receiver there.
You can see how much Owen Shepherd loves that give-go movement. As soon as the forehand comes out, he's immediately moving, and he'll have to move now. So the big huck goes up to McDuff defenders, and Shepherd gets the block.
Duff very deep. The disc is in, but not much around. Nice swing up to the high side there. To Wong. Wong puts it down the sideline. To Barker. Barker, not many options. She swings to Shepherd. He puts it long. Cherlin's underneath it. Oh, almost too easy. Right in the back of the end zone. Cherlin gets the goal.
It almost felt like that point. It was drawing on a little bit. Legs were starting to get tired, and Shepherd finally decides, all right, we'll dial up a big one. Pinpoint on the chest of Michael Cherlin. The two old men connect for a goal, and it's 4-2.
A bit of experience going a long way on this Duff side, and they have called a timeout. Give themselves a pat on the back. Have a drink of water.
They're obviously in a bit of a deficit, but really McDuff's offense almost looking the better of the two. Very fluid, able to get a lot of passes together, really comfortable sacrificing field position in order to maintain possession. Townsville may be a little more aggressive in their option taking, so far being rewarded with those more aggressive shots. We'll see whether they can maintain that kind of higher risk, higher reward style, consistently hit those options.
Yeah, there's Stuff O looking very clinical actually in the zone, causing some man calls that I'm sure Townsville didn't want to be doing close to the end zone.
We just had another look there at Tyson Behage's beautiful poach block. He peels off his man, recognizing that the pass was about to go up, and gets a pretty easy looking block in the end. And we'll see whether McDuff has the wits about them to take advantage of those poachers. He was marked up on Shepherd, and you'd think that Shepherd would recognize something like that. And the disc was in the hands of Brockmeyer, his wife, and also a very experienced player. I'm sure they won't make that mistake twice. We are playing 70-minute games to 15 here at Australian Mixed Ultimate Championships Division 2. So there's still plenty of game to be played, and McDuff will have plenty more to say about the scoreline, I'm sure. And Townsville will be playing offense with 4 women. We are playing the ABBA official WIFDF rules for gender, where it is 2 points of each gender combination alternating all the way through. There's no decisions to be made, and it ensures that women and men getting equal opportunities on the field, which is what we like to see.
Both teams here having a really nice mix of experience and a bit of youth. We've got the experience like Cherlin on Duff, with some young representative players like Leanne Tran is playing under-22s for the New South Wales women's team in Perth later this year. Some nice defense on the mark as well. You can see there was a big break cut from Anderson right into space, but the mark managed to shut that one down. Had to go for an open side shot.
And they're doing well. Townsville taking the options when they present themselves. McDuff definitely had a look at that one, but it's the points on the board that matter. At the moment, Townsville's got a few more of them than McDuff does. A bit more defense for Townsville now. Whether they stick with their zone. It's been a pretty regulation puppy and a fence. So one on the mark, a couple in a cup and a fence around the disc, and then some downfield defenders as well. We'll see whether they stick with that or mix things up and keep McDuff guessing.
We've got Villa feeling the pull to Churlin and back to Villa. A couple of give-goes to get some meters. And Churlin puts it up straight away, looking for the end zone. Oh, Joe Sun can't quite get there. That's a nice block.
Jack.
And he's happy about that.
And Jack Sibley swats that one out of the sky. Big right paw denial on the churl and Harkey. Have another look. Bam.
Oh.
Gets a huge piece of it.
Had a bit of height on him, but I think it was mostly the hops there. Coming into the middle of the end zone. Oh, I think that's pick called. But maybe it didn't affect, so it's going back. Out in space, all on his own. His defender may not have been close enough to call a pick. That might be why that one didn't stand. Bringing it back in. A nice upfield option there. He's got De Hollander. Not many options now. Might need to swing. A little gainer, but there might be a call on the field. Yep, another pick. Bit of a person mash at the moment. There's a violation called on that one. Can't quite get this going right now. Retracted pick. The disc is coming back in. Looking for an upfield option. Ooh, bit of a miscue there, and it's a turnover. McDuff get another chance. We've got Churlin walking up. Will he huck it again? Will he be a little more conservative? Opts to centre it. Joe Sun with the disc. Nice gainer there. Oh, little breakthrough there. And a hammer up over the top. Joe Sun with the goal. That's a nice look for Duff. Clean offense.
And I want to highlight Nicole Wong that point. I thought she had a great point and maybe just doing the little things really well. Not only did she throw that little inside break to Shepherd to set up that final hammer into the end zone, but earlier in the point made a great heads-up defensive play, peeled off her player, and just denied a shot that Townsville would have taken otherwise that eventually led to the highest stall count, second or third option that gave them the turnover. So contributing in maybe slightly less highlight filled ways, but crucially important to McDuff's success at that point is Nicole Wong. Just want to give her props, credit where it's earned, and it was definitely earned that point as McDuff get another one on the board. They stay within touch, within reach, I should say, of Xtra Thicc. But a little more work to do. They haven't been able to get any breaks on the board so far, just offensive holds.
Yeah, I think McDuff have really been shining on their offense this game. I think if they want to take it away or be a bit more competitive in this game, they'll have to really pick up their defense with a little more intensity to get those blocks instead of just keeping their holds. Ooh, offside called.
It is just a repull. But if there are multiple offsides, the penalties are quite severe in terms of where the offensive team gets to take the disc from. The offensive brick mark. So the disc will go back. It's one of the few calls that game advisors will proactively signal. They will signal when a team is offside. It still has to be called by the on-field players for it to take effect, but game advisors will indicate if a player had their foot in front of the end zone when the disc leaves the hand of the puller. And teams are careful not to make the same mistake twice.
Making sure of it that time.
And Townsville's second pass to Anderson, just a little behind him. And Nguyen looks to move things quickly as Cherlin finds the disc as usual, piloting this McDuff offense as he always does. Fakes the forehand, fakes it again, comes to Nguyen. Nguyen working hard. Cherlin goes up line, probably just a metre or two out now. He's got Nguyen again, but he can't find the easy flip for the goal. And there it is. As Cherlin finds Kate Barker in the front corner. And we were just saying that they hadn't been able to find a break. And Combinator's curse immediately follows. McDuff right back in this at 5-4. Cherlin just does a great job of waiting for something to open, patient as you like, confident that his offensive players will give him an easy option, not having to force, you know, a difficult break throw or an overhead. Waits for Barker to do what she does best, which is provide an easy pass for a goal. And things are certainly starting to heat up out there. And also the temperature is rising. Players looking sweaty as they come off the field, as they look to take advantage of the shade in our commentary booth. At 5-4, McDuff are right back in this. Townsville jumped out to an early lead, but McDuff found their feet. And it looks like this one could well go the full distance.
It'll be interesting to see whether Townsville pick back up their zone again or whether they've abandoned it for the rest of the match. McDuff did look pretty clinical cutting through it. That's a nice pull right to the back of the end zone. Moving it around. A bit of traffic. We've got a poach on one of the female handlers, but they hit it. Townsville not really anywhere to be found on the unders. Got a few passes off now. Behavior with the disc. That's a high stall count throw, but it comes off. We got Hamilton with the disc. Looking at the dump. Not making many meters. There's a nice swing back to Behavior. Oh, she puts it up. Not really anyone in sight. And Tran just finishing the job, getting a stat. We got Cherlin walking to the disc at about the brick mark.
That was some nice defense from McDuff Hustle, forcing a lot of second or third options from Townsville.
Oh, he puts it long.
Hamilton underneath
Try
it.
and tow it in. Can't get there.
Well out the side in the end. We'll see where it actually crossed over that sideline because they'll get to bring it back to that point. And it looks quite far up the field, in fact.
Yeah, that little breath of wind that's coming towards the camera might have just been the difference there to push that one out. It sort of comes and goes, so it'll be interesting to see how the teams can read that. And that's ended up quite a short field turn there for Duff. Got not too many options. Barker with a nice cut. Oh, there it is. Knocking on the door, and that's the goal. Villains just punched that one in.
And while the Villains O-line do in the end get the job done, I feel like the cracks are starting to show. McDuff has maybe just upped their defensive intensity a touch. And they're also playing some really smart defense as well. There's a few times where a player will poach off and just flash into the lane just for a second or two, but it's enough to take away an undercut, deny an option, and force Townsville to keep looking consistently to their second, third, and fourth options. And if you can keep a team doing that, that pressure will mount and the turnovers will come. So McDuff playing with what they've got very well. And not surprising when they're led by players with the coaching prowess and the tactical nous like Owen Shepherd and Monica Brockmeyer. Both of them will be more than capable of marshalling their troops to take full advantage of the tools at their disposal. It's now 6-4 to Townsville as we're closing in on half-time. It is a game to 15, so half will be at 8.
Yeah, those poachy little switches that Duff have been doing have been really effective so far. We'll see if Townsville can learn from that and take what they're being given by Duff, or if those will just keep working in Duff's favour.
Big pull from Demarest. Not a whole lot of hang time, but lands relatively deep. Shepherd forced to go to ground a little bit to hold on to that one, but he does, of course. This goes back to him, and Townsville now playing some match defense. And McDuff finding this just as easy to move it through the hands and make meters. Hodling, working hard to go up line, marked by Demarest. That's a great matchup. Those two have been doing battle all game. And the pass from Shepherd just slips out of the hand of Nicole Wong.
Do it!
Demarest thinks better of it and holsters it. And he shoots the bladey forehand to Tom Anderson. Anderson marked by Shepherd. Recognised that he may have the pace and definitely had the height advantage. Goes to the end zone, and Demarest boxes that disc up and FedExes it to his mate. And 7-4 to Townsville. It's a timeout call from McDuff.
That's the second this half, so I think that'll be all they have until second half. The players are having a chat about it. They're not quite sure.
It's fine. The game advisors have clarified. It is 3 timeouts per game with a maximum of 2 per half, as you say, Aaron. We know what's going on.
We're all over it.
Even if Xtra Thicc aren't. I should note, for those that are watching, because it's not on the screens, Xtra Thicc is spelt Xtra Thicc. And they've emphasized to me that it's very important that all of that is in capitals and that there are meant to be spaces between each letter.
Wow.
So it's not just THICC for thick. It is capital T space, capital H space, capital I space, capital C space, capital C. So this team, very thick.
An important distinction.
And so far, just a little too thick for McDuff. As they're sitting at 7-4. They're looking good. They've had the best of it so far.
I think we're seeing a little bit more intensity from both teams now on D. Waking up a little bit, getting into the game. We've seen some bigger bids now. That last point, Nicole Wong she hit the ground hard, almost got there. I think both teams can tell that this one could be a spicy matchup.
And we just got a quick look at the Townsville cheer. And they were stirring the pot. And I've just had to clarify, they weren't actually stirring the pot. They were stirring the thick shake.
Oh.
So we'll see whether they can pour another one here. And McDuff, hustle. Will need to hustle. They'll need to live up to their name if they want to close this gap. Feels like that's been the difference so far. Just a little bit of effort. A little bit of grit from the McDuff team. As Behavior sends the pull down for Townsville. And that one will land just outside the field.
So close. They've got Chang with the disc, bringing it up to the brick mark. We've got Cherlin back next to him. No surprises there. Not sure if he's even subbed this game. Oh, and he puts it deep. We've got Brockmeyer under it. Oh, that's a big block there from Sibley. Denied Brockmeyer.
What an interesting set play from McDuff. It looked like they set up in a vertical, broke into a horizontal, and Brockmeyer immediately headed to the end zone. Clearly a set play. It didn't work for them that time, but looked nice.
Sibley's just too good on D. Spreading it across to De Hollander. There's a bit of traffic. Oh, nice take there by Behavior. Wants to put it deep, thinks better of it. Oh, and nice block there. We got Brockmeyer getting it back, wants another shot at the goal. It goes up, and it stays in. He manages to toe that one in for the goal.
That's a beautiful throw from Michael Chell and puts it on a platter.
For Chang.
For Chang. He's been dropping dimes all game like he's made of money, Michael Chell, and he throws another one there. We saw from Brockmeyer another great example of this heads-up D that McDuff is clearly got a penchant for. She comes off her play, gets in front, and gets a nice block. And they keep it the gap at 2. But Townsville will now play some offense with an opportunity to take half. So McDuff will really want to try and get this one back. The momentum of taking half with a 3-point lead is not insignificant and something that they'll want to avoid at all costs. Chellan playing a lot of points this game as he stays on the field again. He's a leader of this team and he's clearly chooses to lead by example.
Use the legs while they're fresh on day one. See how we're going on Sunday. Not sure anyone would be able to keep up this amount of points for a whole tournament, but we'll find out.
He sends the backhand down, lands at the front of the end zone, and Demarest will connect with Anderson as they move it quickly. So they find Smith. Demarest heading towards the end zone, and there comes the throw. Chellan in pursuit, but that throw out the sideline. And Smith shakes her head. She knows she can do better than that. Not a great shot from her. Don't know if it really ever came into the field. And an opportunity for McDuff. It was a difficult lane to throw down. When you're throwing it to a cutter, cutting straight in front of you down the sideline, very difficult channel to get the disc into. As Chellan over the top, big hammer, straight into the path of Marvin Lee. Back to Nguyen. Back to Chellan. Demarest almost gets a fingertip on it. Chellan cool under pressure as always. He fires a forehand. He's got Nguyen underneath it in plenty of space. It's going to hang a little bit. And Tom Anderson! I hyped him up at the start of the game, and he lives up to the hype with the big block there. Uses his length and pace to great effect. Chasing that one down. Out of the hand, I thought that was money in the bank. But that check bounced.
Didn't have position, but used his legs and his height, and he got in there for that block. Oh.
And Demarest puts that one on the ground. Got an uncontested foul call. Lee, just a little too much physical contact. Too much physical attention for Demarest. And Saunders heads to the end zone, but he's very, very deep. Instead looks for the crossfield hammer to Smith. She thinks about lining one up. Instead goes underneath to Saunders, who's working hard to generate meters. He'll fire from the hip. He's got Anderson underneath it. Will it be bookends for the big boy from Townsville? Yes, it will.
He's done it.
And that's 8-5. Townsville take half.
What a way to take half. Get the block, get the goal. There it is.
Formidable fashion. And Tom Anderson goes end zone to end zone. Chases down a deep one. Thrown by Chellan. Gets the block on it and then goes hard the other way. And Saunders fires at him. And another opportunity that just goes begging for McDuff. Looked so good until it doesn't. Townsville extra thick. In a great position after first half of this match. As the players take a break, so will we. Don't go anywhere. So we've got plenty more action coming to you live from Division 2 Australian Mixed Ultimate Championships here in Nelson Bay.
And welcome back to the second half as Townsville extra thick take on McDuff Hustle. And so far, it's Townsville who've had the hustle as they lead 8-5. And Townsville will be starting on O, so another opportunity to extend their lead in this battle.
There's the pull by Cherlin. Very nice. Back of the end zone. Giving his team some time to get down there. Smith with the disc. Nice out in front. We've got a deep cut and it comes. Behavior under it. It's sitting. Oh, Shepherd. Oh, Shepherd too good.
Shepherd winds back the clock, turns back the calendar, and gets in front and gets the block.
He's got the disc now. Nice little breakthrough. Gaining some meters. Across to Brockmeyer. Nice movement here from Duff. To Nguyen. Ooh, up and over to Shepherd. Looking at the end zone. Crams it down the sideline to Cherlin. Oh, another upside down throw. He's loving them this game. Finds Nguyen. Right on the doorstep now. Duff trying to work it in. There's a pick called. A lot of bodies in a small area. Goes open side to Cherlin. Not too many cuts happening. There's a great cut by Nguyen. Too easy. There's the goal. A nice slash across the front of the end zone. Defender nowhere in sight. That's the clean O that we want to see from Duff here.
And they've showed hints of it this game. And at times they've looked really polished. But it's been inconsistent. If they can consistently play like they just did then, and Shepherd keeps making plays like that, then they'll definitely find some more success. You can see Shepherd, he doesn't actually end up touching the disc, but he gets his body in front beautifully and boxes Behavior out of the contest and just didn't give him much of an opportunity to get that disc.
It's a valiant second bid from Behavior there. Really hits the ground, but just out of reach.
McDuff will have to play some serious defense because what they need now is breaks. No matter how good their offense is, they still need to rely on their defense to get some turnovers, get some stops before they can convert them into runs on the board. And it will be Oliver Chang with the pull. Throws the inside out back end. Down that line. And Saunders and Demarest connect. Smith. Not a lot providing itself. Inside forehand. Townsville having to consistently look to second or third options. McDuff doing well to take away the easy shot for Xtra Thicc, not allowing them to keep the disc moving. And that pass from Smith almost floated a little bit and almost made things exciting. Saunders shoots to the end zone. This man firing from the hip consistently. Anderson gets off his feet.
Huge.
Holds on. Clearly he's turned it up. And Smith cooks her defender up the line. And that's a lovely hold from Townsville. Saunders making Anderson work for it. But Anderson up to the task.
Townsville looking really free-flowing on their offense. They're really not operating out of a tight stack in the middle. They've got a lot of people sort of everywhere on the field, but they're just that good that they're finding the space anyway, finding those long shots. And with receivers like Anderson pulling out huge bids, you can't go too wrong there.
And Smith was shouting and waving for the disc in the dump space when that huck went up, but doesn't waste time worrying. Gets going downfield and ends up with the goal.
Yeah, lucky that one came off, or he might have been in a bit of trouble.
Saunders has been very quick to shoot long this game. So far, generally successful. We've had a couple wayward shots, but so far they're living
and dying by that sword, and more often than not, it's working. So it's probably a case of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. As Townsville continue to do well as they lead 9-5.
Ball goes up. Cherlin takes it. Centers. Defense a little slow to get down there now, so they've got a few passes off before they're there. Oh, it goes up. Nice block there. Townsville looking to shoot early. Nothing on. Nice break throw. High release backhand. Oh, and a block there by Cherlin. He wants the huck, but he chooses not to. We got Kirk with the disc. Nice movement back to Kirk. Through the middle there to Tran. Out in front. Nice grab there. This quick movement's looking really nice for Duff, but can they finish strong? Back to Cherlin with the disc. Right on the end zone line, not far out. Nice swing. Back to Cherlin, every second pass. He puts it out in front. Oh, huge bid there from Tran. What a receiver. Has to go all the way to ground to grab that one, but wow, what a play.
Michael Cherlin very casual, that little backhand. A little far out in front of Tran, but she's up to the task. Goes to ground, holds on, digs it out. That's some more pretty offense from McDuff. They are starting to find their offensive groove.
Another look at it. There's a few receivers there. It could have gone a few ways, but Tran was the one who just got there. That's the kind of energy I think McDuff need to really be in this.
Just need to bring that offensive energy to the defensive side of things. Both teams pretty clean on O, generally speaking. Cherlin still on the field. I haven't been tracking his points played, but if I had, I'd have a strong suspicion it'd be well more than 2/3 of the game so far. Maybe recognizing this is possibly an important game in their pool for them, as they look to position themselves to get into the knockout stages of this competition. It is a pool of 7. Teams play a full round robin in that pool and then progress to pre-quarters or quarters, depending on the finishing spot. As Smith, high release forehand, has Tom Anderson. Marked by Nguyen, but Anderson misjudges it, jumps a little early. Points at the sun, blames it on that, but gets lost a little bit underneath it.
Definitely would have been a good get if he did get that one. I think it might have been sailing out. He's a tall boy, but maybe not quite that tall.
And surprisingly, it's not often you get to a second half of the game and then get to say that Kat Smith shoots long for the first time. But I think that may be her first legitimate away shot. Cherlin literally leaves Anderson in the dust. Fires the forehand way out in front. That was ambitious. Joe Sun's quick, but gee whiz, that was a long way in front. Very flat, not very much touch on it at all.
A bit too pumped after that great dump cut. Maybe should have holstered that one.
And the wind just coming and going. It's a little gusty and inconsistent. Players haven't been affected by it too much so far. Demarest finds Smith with a nice inside forehand. Anderson back to Smith. She has players going deep and she shoots again. She's remembered that she can huck.
Oh.
And comes up trumps. She finds Sasha Presley, the young 17-year-old, in the end zone. Gee whiz. For a 17-year-old, she's quick and she knows where to be on the field.
That Duff defense there couldn't quite get it together. I was seeing a few different forces. Not sure if they did that on purpose or if they just had a couple not quite getting on the right side of their player, but I think that allowed that big huck from Kat Smith.
With Smith, it's really a case of pick your poison. As we saw there, she's got the forehand, and my oh my does she have the backhand. So it's difficult to take them all away from her. And also good to see that she wasn't put off by her first unsuccessful attempt. Simply a case of dialing it in and adjusting just a touch, and a thrower of that caliber can do that on the fly in the middle of a point. Second one coming out much nicer than the first and being rewarded with the goal. Anderson had a chat with me at halftime, and he mentioned he'd been struggling to find his footing this game, struggling to find his place in the team, but gosh, coming out of half, he looks like a veteran out there, churning up the field.
Got Villa fielding the disc to Cherlin, never far from the action, and he puts it long straight away, looking for Shepherd. Oh, and he milks it. He's right on the doorstep. Got Tran in the area, but not on. Nice high one. Oh, no. Bit of a misread.
And it just bobbled up a little bit, perhaps in the wind, just sat a touch longer than anyone would have liked. And McDuff squander a great opportunity.
De Hollander picking up, got the whole field to work. And he dumps it across. Nice little undercut there. Behavior with the disc. Looking for some upfield options, not much on. De Hollander's there, looks off the huck. Quite a mash of people there. That's a really nice take there from Walker. Back to De Hollander.
That's one fiancé passing to another, bit of a honey pass.
Oh, a bit messy on the offense there for Townsville. Lots of bodies in a lot of places, not much stack action, which I think caused that turn there. We've got Cherlin walking to the disc. McDuff get another chance. Oh, fakes the hammer, fakes the big, goes for the backhand. Nice break throw. We got Shepherd with the disc, up and over the top. Back to Shepherd, out in front, and he hucks it long. We've got Tran deep. She's going to have to boost to get there. Ah, just can't quite run it down. Shepherd had one too many wheat bix.
Out of the hand, I thought it looked really nice, but as you say, just sailed a little too far for Tran.
Beautiful cut by Tran. She was all alone in heaps of space, but just couldn't quite connect. Villain's now trying again. There's the big backhand. Will it stay in? No, it won't.
It's worth noting on this Townsville line, they've got a couple of couples. Tyson and Ashley Behavior are a couple. And big congratulations to David De Hollander and JJ Walker, recently engaged.
Aww.
So,
We got Shepherd with the disc again. That's quite a big put. To Brockmeyer, back to Shepherd. Will he huck again? Will he work it up? Nice gainer there. Oh, blocked straight away by De Hollander. Perhaps didn't quite see him there, Nicole Wong. De Hollander with the disc. Oh, another big backhand. He can't get enough. Behavior takes it. Two defenders, but she gets in the right position. Looking to dump now, not many upfield options. Stall count rising. Centers it there. We've got Miller with the disc. Stall count again rising. Not much happening for Townsville. She's got to pop it up and over. Finds Behavior. It's coming off somehow. Right on the doorstep. Nice flick there. Looking for De Hollander, but he just can't quite get there.
That's stifling defense from McDuff. Great end zone stand by them. Just taking away all the options, forcing a really tricky throw by Behavior.
Cherlin's called a timeout for McDuff. Probably a good choice. This is quite a long point. It's pretty hot out there. Might as well use them if you've got them.
This is their third time out of the game, so it is their last. They have no more opportunities to call a timeout, and I don't even think Townsville have even called one. So just having that tactical opportunity in their back pocket, ready to call it when they need it. And another opportunity for McDuff. Already wants this point. They've worked it all the way up the field. And they just need to finish it off. Get the disc into the end zone for the goal. I was talking about the couples on Townsville. Don't want to neglect Monica Brockmeyer and Owen Shepherd as well. Plenty of family action here in Game 2 of the Australian Mixed Ultimate Championships Division 2 in Nelson Bay. It's beautiful weather. The sun's out. I think it's listed at 24 degrees. Humidity, 72%. Wind direction is a nice southerly at 11.5 knots. So beautiful Frisbee conditions all round. We're just a few hundred metres from the beach, and I know a lot of players will be heading there after their duties are done today. So it's a great location for Ultimate. We're very happy to be here. Big thank you to Hills Ultimate Club, who are hosting, and to GWS Ultimate, who are providing some of the manpower, the woman power, all of the volunteers to make the magic happen on the day.
And we're back in. Churlin has the disc, and Townsville have gone back to their zone, and it is immediately effective. The first pass goes to ground. De Hollander's got the disc right on the end zone line, and that's a goal. Oh, too easy. Big celebration there.
And what, I don't want to say a waste, but what a missed opportunity by McDuff. They call a timeout. Number of turnovers already happened, and then a simple mistake. Churlin looks for the scuba over the top, and just miscommunication, not on the same page at all with his dump, and it goes to ground. And then one pass score for Townsville. And they've got a 4-point lead late in this game. They're up 11-7.
Yeah, timeout is always a risky call midpoint. Max Halden, always famous for saying that it's about a 1 in 5 chance of converting after a timeout. And sadly, McDuff have just proven him right.
And they'll have to prove the stats wrong, or they'll have to be the exception to the rule if they want to come back from this one. They're down 4 points. It's a sizable deficit, but crazier things have happened.
Yeah, they'll need a real energy shift if they want to get right back in this. Looking a little bit low.
And as we speak, the horn to indicate time cap has gone, which means we won't be going to 15.
We've got 4 ladies on this point. Let's see which team can capitalize on that. Use their women. Very nice pull.
Something that's become a bit of a, I don't want to say a fashion, but an innovation in mixed ultimate, especially here in Australia, is use of cross-gender match defense. We haven't seen it much this game, but it'll be interesting to see how often it gets pulled out here this weekend, and then maybe compare that to how often it gets pulled out next weekend at the Division 1 Championships. But as I speak, the Townsville zone has re-emerged, and McDuff give it up cheaply just in front of halfway. Anderson immediately breaks the mark with his low inside forehand, finds Smith for a pick. The disc will come back. But Anderson showing his versatility. We've already seen his athletic downfield plays. Now showing his throwing chops with a nice break forehand. See if he goes again. Instead goes open side to Saunders.
Oh, gets a hand to it.
Fakes the high release forehand. Would love to see that one go up. Instead, he throws into the kneecaps of his teammate in Francis Maluzarides. And McDuff get things moving through Villa. Looking for Wong, and it's just beyond her outstretched fingers. Townsville get it again. Just beyond halfway. Just over 30 metres. And Anderson hopping off.
Dear.
Looking ginger. I'm not sure if he did hurt an ankle, rolled it, something. Didn't seem like a big impact anywhere, but he will take the injury sub.
Could be a cramp. He's getting some love on the sideline. Hope it's just a cramp.
Kat Smith, forehand to Behavior. Behavior to Behavior. No shooter up the line to Sasha Presley. Quick as you like, clinical as you like. They put that one in. And also that'll take it to 12-7.
Presley's here to play. The young 17-year-old really making her mark on this game. That's, I think, at least her second goal.
Showing that she can mix it in the adults division. She can prove very effective. We're getting confirmation that Tom Anderson was just cramping. Nothing more severe than that. He'll toughen up and he'll live through it. It's all right. I think his teammate's gone off to find him a teaspoon of concrete, hopefully.
Bit of attention. He'll be back on.
That's right. He felt like we hadn't talked about him enough lately, so thought he'd do something to get himself back on the stream. But we wish him well for future endeavours. And this could well be the final point if Townsville are able to put it in. As the hooter went last point, we finished that point. We'll add 1 to the higher score and we'll play to that, which means we're now playing a game to 13.
Let's see if Duff can string this out a little bit more. Milk it for a few more points.
Tyson Behavior will continue the pulling duties for Townsville. It's last opportunity for a good one here.
Nice roller. Shepherd with the disc in the center. To Tran, making sure of it. Back to Shepherd. Never far away. Nice flick to Wong. Looking pretty calm. Oh! That disc has come out. Not sure if that was thrown or if that was a strip. They're going to chat about it a little. Yeah, strip called, and that looks uncontested, so the disc goes back to Wong. Sort of trapped on the sideline. Luckily, it is the high side. That wind gusting a little bit, coming towards the camera.
Shepherd in the dump space.
Nice cut there by Shepherd. No continuation. Oh, big block there. Oh, had a few goes at it, but Josan can't bring it in. There's a deep cut happening. Will he huck it? De Hollander doesn't. Holsters it. Now he does. He's hucked it. Oh, I think the players weren't quite ready for that one. That was quite a high stall count huck, so they weren't quite in the best position. That defense on the mark by Shepherd just really shut down all of the options that De Hollander wanted to take.
McDuff get another opportunity to prolong this game just a little bit further. They do have to score 6 in a row if they want to take this match. It's a tall task, but Monica Brockmeyer may have something still to say about that.
Calling for it again. She gets it back. Working through the women. Oh, really nice block there by Hamilton. And that's a short field turn. Villains are going to want to punch this one in. Let's see if McDuff have anything to say about it on D. They swing it early to Behavior. Wide open in the end zone is Presley, but the throw just can't quite get there.
And Presley open again in the end zone. She is just caught on fire in the back half of this match.
looking for that hat trick. She and Tran, I think, are a really good matchup. Two young players. Oh, there's a bit of a huck from Brockmeyer and a nice grab there by Nguyen. Sorry, by Lee there. He centres back to Brockmeyer, crosses to Shepherd. Oh, the run-through Ds are just on fire today. But that one's a bit of contact. There's a foul called. Disc goes back to Brockmeyer. You can just see that Townsville are hungry for that block, though. They want to finish the game. Just a missed throw there, and it's another turn.
Brockmeyer gives that one up cheaply. Matt Hamilton, that's his second almost run-through block for this point.
I think there's the defensive fire that we wanted. Puts it long, but Brockmeyer cleans up, making up for that last throw. Oh, nice grab there almost by Lee. Gets a hand to it, but then bobbles it out. A bit of panic maybe on the Duff side. There's another timeout called, this time by Townsville.
They call a timeout after time cap.
Wow.
Up 5 points. Fair enough to them. Look, why not? They want the break. They could have just finished the point and had the break then, but no, they'll take it now.
Drag it out. Drag it out.
They're showmen and showwomen, I should say, show people. They love the drama, the suspense.
Yep.
You know, they want to write a great story, keep the audience guessing to the last possible moment. They have the disc 14 metres out from the end zone, and they're going to draw something up. They'll look to their captains to draw up some kind of offensive play here.
We'll see if they can go against the midpoint timeout rule, that it's usually a turnover. Takes a pretty good team to convert after this, so we'll see if they've got it in them or if Duff get another chance.
Can they be the 20%? This is Occupy Townsville right here. They are the 20%. Well, they certainly hope they are, at least, with the disc in the hands of David de Hollander, the lefty.
Shepherd on the mark.
Just looks like a pretty vanilla vertical stack. We'll see what they do.
Disc is in. Oh, very interesting, extremely bladey throw. Straight through to Behavior. Is that it? That's a goal.
That's the game. They are the 20%.
Wow.
Occupy Townsville lives on.
Results based. That was not the prettiest, but look, it got the goal. So there you go. Townsville win it.
Townsville extra thick. Too much for McDuff hustle. They had too much hustle. And in the end, they finished that one strong. 13-7.
Wow.
It was close at 9-7. But they got the last 4 in a row.
The last laugh.
And just like that, the second game of the Australian Mixed Ultimate Championships Division 2 is in the books. And it's been a pleasure bringing it to you. There's plenty more action coming to you today, tomorrow and Sunday, all weekend long, from the premier Ultimate Tournament happening anywhere in the world this weekend.
Wow.
My name is Max Stenstrom. I've been joined by Aaron Healy. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned.
Alti.tv